I want to just speak again about the clarity on vaccines. We've reached a point in this pandemic where people are under stress like never before. At the beginning, we didn't know what it was, we didn't know how bad it was, and now we do know that. And we all know people now who unfortunately who have contracted it, who have been ill, who have been seriously ill, who have been hospitalised, and I believe that everybody at this point knows somebody who has died, very, very sadly. We have had pharmacists and frontline workers and GPs working throughout, facing this stress, their staff facing the stress. And nowhere is that more acute than frontline workers, but I was thinking today about pharmacists in particular who cannot triage people coming into their shops in the way that GPs can, and who they and their staff have been under the stress of not knowing who's coming in and the particular difficulty of that. And yet I can't answer the question of the pharmacist in Shankill today who asks me, what level is she at? What level is she in terms of direct patient contact? Is she performing direct patient contact, or is it potential patient contact? And I can't answer that question, and I can't answer other questions. I can't answer the question of the mother of a 4-year-old with type 1 diabetes who is his only carer, a lone mother who is his only carer. Will she get it when he gets it? It seems logical. It seems like the programme has the flexibility built into it, but all she wants to mitigate her stress is the knowledge that she will get it. I can't answer the question of the son of the 91-year-old lady who lives in my constituency who's not quite sure when she'll get it. Now, he appreciates that, of course, people in congregated settings and in the healthcare system have to get it first before his mother, but when is his mother going to get it? And the reason I can't answer their questions and the reason I can't provide clarity is that we don't have any sort of pictorial graph, any sort of spreadsheet in the way that we have for other things in our own documents in the implementation plan, in the vaccine implementation plan. I point you to page 19 of the implementation plan, where there's a 3-month spreadsheet of activities. I point you to a similar document from Denmark, which your own colleague Barry Andrews, MEP, pointed out today on social media, where there's a schedule, albeit an indicative schedule, albeit one with different levels of certainty in terms of the colour presentation, but it's a schedule. And we have heard the argument back, and I understand why it's being made, that we cannot provide such a schedule because we do not know how many vaccines we will have. But we can provide a schedule based on the vaccines that we know that we have. What would be the schedule based on the current vaccines that we know we will have available? If it is expedited, fantastic. If I go and tell somebody that, look, based on what our current vaccine plan is, it looks like you may be there in June, the first week in June, the second week in June, and it turns out it's the first week in May, that's a piece of misinformation I'm happy to stand over, that's a clarification I'm happy to stand over. Can we do more in providing clarity for people, Minister, to try and keep the social solidarity that we've had? The implementation plan of the communication focuses on convincing people who aren't convinced by vaccines at the present. I actually don't think that's the problem that we have in terms of communication. We need to talk to those people who would queue overnight in the snow to get this vaccine and to try to keep them with us as we go through the next phases. Can I ask you those two questions? In particular, can we go back and look at providing a spreadsheet, a visible representation to people of when they may get the vaccine, recognising that it may be expedited? Can I get clarity in relation to pharmacists? And I might come back then and ask you a further question, please, Minister, if you would answer those questions for me.